Sum 41, a band that has questionably stuck it out through the big factor that is really haunting many 90s bands today, and that is time and aging. The band, coming back with a sixth studio effort this year named 13 Voices, is a follow up to 2011's Screaming Bloody Murder, an album that, although seemed good while listening to it, you could tell the band was heading towards a troubled state, as founding member and original drummer Steve Jocks left the band soon after, as guitarist and singer Derek Whibley struggled with his alcohol abuse and ended up getting put in the hospital with a serious health scare as his liver, kidneys collapsed. Also, he had some pretty serious nerve damage that left him unable to walk, play guitar, do basic functions, as he and his doctors even questioned if he was going to make it through it. Fortunately, he did, even though it was a long, hard process, but he had an album to make while in the recovery, and that is 13 Voices, the brand new album that came out Friday. And so it came out a few days ago. Target did release a deluxe version. Make sure you pick that up in stores if you are interested in it, because they are selling out fast. This is currently the last copy that was in my town, and really, it's got 4 extra bonus tracks, 2 unreleased, 2 acoustics, but we will break down each track by track in this review. So, 13 Voices, an album that was released on Hopeless Records. They had recently gotten signed to it throughout the year. I know they were going through Vans Warped Tour this year because I had stopped and seen them, and they were really glad to be on board with Hopeless Records, and it was really good to see them on a record label that, they've always been on a big record label, but it seemed like this one was going to treat them right. So it's always a good thing when people are behind you, knowing that you can not only create your album, but people will be staying behind you when it comes time to the business aspect, which it was. Also, 13 Voices is an effort since 2004's record Chuck that founding guitarist Dave Brownsound Batch was included in the band. He had left in 2005, 2006, around that time, really to focus on his own solo stuff, and the band was getting really dark and heavy for him at the time, which they were if you compared Chuck to, their first effort, Half Hour or Power, or even their most famous effort to date, All Killer No Filler. It really, musically, it had gone forward, but as a mood, it got a lot darker, a lot faster, and it was just an environment that Dave didn't want to be in anymore. But back on 13 Voices, I believe the health scare with Derek, and they'd always been on good terms ever since leaving, so Derek and Dave got back together, and the band is at the original lineup minus the drummer Steve Jocks, which was replaced by Frank Zuma. And then you have Tom Thacker, the guitarist that replaced Dave Brownson during his leave of absence from the band, and then Cone McCallison, who has been with the band pretty much since the beginning. So that lineup goes into their sixth studio effort, 13 Voices. It's a 10-track. We're just going to talk about the first 10 tracks, and then at the end we'll talk about the other bonus things and whether it's worth getting. So, yes, like I said, 10 tracks. They all pretty much highlight Derek's struggle with his alcoholism and his fight to recover back to where he's at now. So the record starts with, So the record starts with A Murder of Crows, and it starts off with some violins, some strings, a really eerie feeling, something's building up, and bam. Guitars hit you, Derek hits you, saying, "Take me away." I believe that's what he says, and it's just the breakdown from there. The song is really about Derek and his struggle with when he was going through all his stays in the hospital, that some of his fans and even his family bailed out on him. So the song was to them, saying, "You're pretty much dead to me." Really, everybody with those friends can really relate to that, because you seem like you need them the most, and then they'll bail on you. So this album really hints at some troubling subjects, which I admit it does get a little cliche after a while. The lyrics are recycled. I'm not saying it's bad by far, but they keep revisiting that entire topic. So A Murder of Crows, definitely an amazing album starter to me. The first three tracks on this really do punch you in the mouth, and then after that, it kind of dies down a little in the middle, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. So, Murder of Crows, like I said, really good opener. And then you have Goddamn I'm Dead Again, which instrumentally is the best song that's on the album and can be considered Dave Beck's best guitar work that I've ever heard, because there's a lot of soloing. It ends with a Hotel California style improvised solo that leads it out into pretty much nothingness, and it's just really beautiful. Guitar harmonies are the focal point, I believe, of this album when it comes to the guitar works. The harmonies, the dual guitars. Now that they have three guitarists in the band, him and Tom can switch back on solos, because Tom has also proved that he's a worthy guitarist to take some leads. So Goddamn I'm Dead Again, about the first minute and a half, 2 minutes is an actual song. Then the rest of it's just like I said, it reminds you of Hotel California. In fact, I believe the riffs that lead it out are actually, I'm not going to say stolen from the song, but they can be heavily compared to it. So then, that's the second track. Again, starts you off fast, starts you off going, gets you in a good mood. The third track, Fake My Own Death, the first taste we ever heard from this album. Again, really powerful track. This is the one lyrically I think was one of the best, because it didn't recycle that same content. It actually, lyrically was very good and really inspiring, and the riffs just from the guitars just get you going, and then Frank's drums, I believe, and the rhythm, or not the rhythms, but the verses, the rhythms in those are just really good and really get you going. So Fake My Own Death, not really too much to talk about. Most of you have already heard that because it was released around June. They played it a lot during the Warped Tour, and it's just a really good song. I think it's one that's going to be on their set list for a long time to come. And then the fourth track, Breaking the Chain, this is the one where it kind of slowed down for me. I've listened to this album a few times, and it's still, I guess right here is when it slows down just a tad for me, as far as interest-wise. The intro I wasn't really too fond of, but once it got going, I guess, it was alright. The solo on it was pretty good, pretty cool, I guess, but nothing too spectacular. So Breaking the Chain and There Will Be Blood, that was another one I didn't really care for. There Will Be Blood was a little more up-tempo and more upbeat, and those are the two pretty much weak points, I'd say, of the album. And a lot of people are saying that too. It's really filler in my opinion, but nonetheless, if you like those tracks, then why not, listen to them more. This is my own opinion, my own review on it. Overall, I love the album, but those are the two weak points for me, and you got to have the highs and the lows of the album. But overall, that was the weak point. So that was Breaking the Chain and There Will Be Blood. Those two you can kind of set aside. They weren't my favorites of the album. Then you have number 6 of the album, 13 Voices, the title track. This one has been hitting me a lot. I kind of want to, sometimes I'll rope that in the previous two and say this is the weak point of the album. Other times it's can be argued as my favorite song on the album. It's really, what's the word? Diverse, I guess. It's really different because the song starts off with a clean, guitar strumming riff, and then it goes into this complicated, heavy, back and forth guitar work, and then it goes into another riff. So basically, it has 4 songs put into one. And like another YouTuber said, it can be called 13 Voices because there's 13 parts in it. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's not exactly 13 parts, but it feels like there's just 6 songs mashed into that one. And the chorus and the second and third verse kind of reminded me of something that My Chemical Romance, another band that unfortunately didn't, I guess, deal with the test of time. But it can be compared to something like, it sounded like My Chemical Romance during the chorus and all that stuff. That's I was listening to. So overall, I kind of did dig the song right now, and it's just hard to see. A lot of people have mixed views on it, but I thought it was a good track nonetheless. It really shows that they can come up with a lot of stuff. So then the next track after that's War, one of the slower ballads of it. Some people don't like it, some people do. I personally love it. It's a really inspiring track. You can see why Derek put his heart and soul into it, and why it helped him get over his hospital visits and through his therapy. And it's a really inspiring song. Talks about war at yourself, and Not too much more to say about that. It was already released as a single. Then the next one, God Save Us All, which in my personal opinion was the best single they released. It's the closest to a previous Sum 41 sounding song as it is. I don't like the title. It's kind of cringy. But nonetheless, it's a really good jam. Besides the title, I have nothing wrong with the song. There's a little breakdown where it's just the vocals only and a drum and clapping. I don't really dig that too much, but the chorus, the verses, I really dig. And the solo, it's really not technically thrashy, but you can get down to it. It's a pretty good solo. Then the next, The Fall and the Rise. I wouldn't say it's rap, but it's kind of like a hype up song. It's got an interesting guitar riff in the beginning to it that just keeps recycling throughout the song. And it's got a really good, powerful chorus with it. That's another one of the songs I believe Derek did best lyrically on. And Fall in the Rise is one of the top tracks for me on it. A lot of people seem to dig it too. And like I said, it's kind of rappy. It's not really rappy, but at the same time, it is like, he's rapping lyrics on it. And then final one on the regular album, Twisted by Design, best closer they could have picked for it. I wasn't really into it in the beginning, but then the more and more I listened to it, I was, it's a long song. I believe it's over 5 minutes. It's a really long song, but it's really powerful, and it doesn't recycle the content Derek's using. It's using it in a great way that everybody can relate to, which that's what I personally dug about it. And it's the best closer they could have picked for it. It would have been out of place if they put that anywhere else. And then, so that's the whole 10 tracks. And then the bonus ones were Better Days and... I can't read that. Hold on. Better Days and Black Eyes. There we go. I haven't really listened to those too much, so I can't give too much of a review on it. Better Days has a really good jam to it. It's really good. Guitar work. It's kind of weird on the beat and the lyrics. And then Black Eyes? Yeah, Black Eyes. It's alright. It's kind of like what they would put in a filler. It's kind of like they put 2 tracks as the bonus tracks as ones they didn't think were going to make the album, but were, something that they should put out there. So that's what I believe those were. And then they put Breaking the Chain and War as the last 2 tracks bonus on here, but in the acoustic version. And I fell in love with the acoustic version of War. The acoustic of Breaking the Chain was alright, but the War one, I believe that one should be played live with their tour that they're doing, which is well underway right now, a couple shows in. I am going to the show October 19th in Detroit to go meet the band, which the meet and greets were pretty cheap, I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, overall, the album, I'm not disappointed by far. It definitely drops off after the first 3, and then it comes back at the end, which most albums tend to do, but again, there's a couple of tracks that, they could have done without, and it would have been okay. But overall, I'd probably give this an 8.5 out of 10, just because of that middle part. In my opinion, this is the best album I have heard this year. By my own personal opinions, it was definitely the one I was excited for the most after not really being into them after Screaming Bloody Murder, and then I kind of hated the direction they were going into. And then, once I heard Fake My Own Death, I heard Dave was back, and I saw them on Warped Tour. This was starting to become my most anticipated album of the year, even higher than the Blink one, which is my favorite band, and then higher than the Green Day one, which the Green Day one was still good, but it's a typical Green Day record. This one, if I would say that they're back, not to the original state, but they're definitely back and better than they were before. So, I mean, $10, pretty cheap album. I would go out and get it if you're a fan of them. If you didn't really like the last couple years, then this will definitely be an album for you. If you like where they're going before, I don't know if you're going to like it or not, but some people like it just because that it's some. So, yeah, I tried to be as unbiased as I could as possible with this. And like I said, the covers are coming. I'm going to put up a teaser for my covers. I think I'm doing Goddamn I'm Dead Again. I just learned that one. Sorry that's taking a while to get out. It's kind of a difficult album to hear some parts in it. 13 Voices is the one I have to learn yet, and that one, like I said, in this, there's like 7 parts to it. It's ridiculous. But yeah, 13 Voices, definitely a good album. Like I said, 8.5 out of 10. I will be giving away a deluxe version of this on my channel. Again, it's really hard to come by. I don't know how it is in every other town, but it's hard to come by in my town, and you get a free copy of this. Details coming soon. The details of that will be in the guitar cover of the entire album, so stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this little review I had going on here. Sorry if it drug on for a little bit. Sorry if I was kind of getting off the point. I was trying to be as brief but as knowledgeable about the songs as I could be on each track. But yeah, like I said, like and comment if you like this video and have anything to say about it. And if you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. This is definitely a fun album to play on a guitar, so I think I'll be doing a couple guitar tutorials on like Fake My Own Death or something. Some easy songs, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching this, and this is Cody, and I will talk to you later.